Hello and welcome back to the Kyle Davis Show. Today, I want to talk about the recently uncovered or leaked Google efforts to essentially cover up people they don't like. There were two senators, Ted Cruz, excuse me, and the other guy, I don't remember, he's got a missing eye or something weird, I don't know. And they both asked Google reps questions, and they both denied any knowledge of anything. It's Google, which owns YouTube. Pretty sure that's right. Took down a video that had leaked information about Google. And basically the idea was that anyone they don't like, they label as hate speech. Essentially, they labeled Ben Shapiro I think they labeled Steven Crowder, I don't remember. I think they might have. And I know they labeled Dennis Prager, I think that's his name, Dennis, from Prager University. They've labeled these people hate speech and Nazis. Except, I know at least one, if not two, are Jewish. Where's the sense in that? There isn't any. How are you labeling Jews hard, like, traditional, endowed in their faith Jews as Nazis? What? We had the whole Vox issue trying to shut down Steven Crowder when they said that he didn't violate any terms, but the channel overall is hateful and condemning, so we're going to take it down, or we're going to remove you from, making any money off of YouTube. Whatever. Actually, not whatever. It's ridiculous. It's not fair by any means. Yet Google is basically siding with Vox, as saying that not only Ben Shapiro, not only Steven Crowder, but Ben Shapiro should be labeled hate speech too. How on earth are they hate speech? If you've actually listened to them, go listen. Because I have. And a lot of the Ben Shapiro destroys, it's not really destroys, it's more education, it's more telling people what they should already know. And I think to a degree it gets frustrating from their points because they're telling people the same thing over and over and over again. Sure, people ask good questions, but they're asking, it's almost as if they're trying to find new ways to ask the same question to get a different answer. That's what seems to be happening. Um, they are they are being labeled hate speech for not conforming to this idiocy of the left, and they don't like it. But they're the ones with all the money. They're the ones. The Democrats have the biggest media platforms. They have the biggest um, amount of support from um, I forget what I was going to say. The Democrats have the biggest support from from everyone, or the overwhelming majority, right? It's difficult. It's actually not too difficult anymore. You can find it if you want it. If Google's not shutting it down, there are media outlets that you can find Republican views on. But it is getting harder and harder to find because Google does keep shutting them down. Bots wants to shut them down. You know, Google is trying to play this emotional game with the Democrats. You know, if you're not with me or against me, you're hurting me. It's like, what? The Democrats have largely become a platform of emotion. You know, if I can't have it my way, then I'm going to go cry and bitch about it. And that's essentially what happens on YouTube. You know, a while back, a couple of years ago, when people were saying that hate speech was cussing on YouTube, or they were going to start blocking cuss words on YouTube, and when, because people were complaining about it so much. So that's essentially what happens. Is if YouTube gets enough complaints about something, they take it down because that's how they run. They subdue to the mass, whoever's saying whatever. Not to mention that covering up, trying to block out people that they don't want is in violation of the First Amendment. The right to free speech. I have a right to say that I don't like the Democrats. I have a right to say liberals can go to hell. Like, that's a right. They can say the same thing about Republicans. They can say the same thing about me. I don't care. They're just words. It's not violence. And that's the other thing that the Democrats are trying to do, is pair hate speech with violence. How on earth does that even work? It doesn't. Because you can say something, and unless it's an actual legitimate threat, it's not violence. And even speech itself is not violence. It doesn't incite violence. It doesn't do anything for violence. It's not a physical act of hurting someone. Sure, words can hurt. Like, I get that. But typically words are followed by actions. And that's what gives them meaning. Words have meaning or can be hurtful because of what they mean and the actions behind them. Yet at the same time, saying there are only two genders is a scientific fact. It's not hate speech. Yet liberals want you to believe that there's this whole spectrum. And it's not acknowledging this whole spectrum. That's just poor me, pity me, I'm not getting my way. That's not something like, I hate you, I'm gonna go kill you. Or something that has real meaning or real value, like breaking up. Like breaking in a relationship, when two people break up, it's pretty hard. Especially on the one who didn't want it to end. I'd say it's much harder on the one who didn't want it to end. Regardless if it's a guy or a girl. Like, that is not hate speech, it's not violent, but it hurts. Saying there are only two genders. Hate speech? How, that doesn't even, all it's saying is fact. That's just science. And now they're condemning science as hate speech. That it's not emotion. Covering up people who you don't want, how do I want to say this? Covering up what you don't want people to see or hear or believe or whatever, that's taking away from our First Amendment rights. And Google would probably rather have me shut down than my phone went off. But they'd probably rather have me be shut down than people to see this, what I'm saying. And that again is covering up. That's labeling hate speech. That's controlling what the mass media sees. And everyone should be able to make a determination for themselves. If you don't like the Republican Party, fine. If you don't like the Democratic Party, fine. Don't listen to them. But that doesn't mean that I should be forced to have this all these mass media leftist, whatever in my face. Yeah. Oops, hold on. Get back in here. So, yeah. I'll just finish out this route. Thank you for watching. Comment if you want. Subscribe if you want. Yeah. And I'm just going to cut through here. Oops. Alright. See y'all next time. Bye.